Hi dear students, welcome to today's my CBSE world. So today we are going to learn one of the very important chapter, that is sectors of Indian economy. What is the chapter? Sectors of Indian economy. So for your CBSE economy, this chapter is very important from the examination point of view. Not only this, the student who are going to appear for your UPSC, IAS, IPS or any state service examination, this chapter is the foundation for your economics. Because the entire chapter revolves around the production, distribution and exchange and consumption of the resources. Right. So as part of this series, we are discussing this. Now we are moving on to the next slide. So by reading this chapter, what you are going to understand, what are the learning objectives. So every student should have to have a command over certain keywords. So before going to learn these learning objectives, so my sincere request to all of you guys, please go through some keywords which are there in the textbook, like what is economy, okay, what is economic activities, what is primary sector, what is secondary sector, what is tertiary sector, right, and what is sector, then what is private sector, what is public sector, what is organized sector, what is unorganized sector, okay, what is unemployment, what is employment, what is unemployment, what is disguised unemployment, what is seasonal unemployment, what is underemployment, what is IT. So all these things you should know it. Okay. So today, define sectors of the Indian economy. What are the sectors of the economy? And second objective, classify the economic activity into how many sectors. Okay. And differentiate organized sector and unorganized sector. Next, explain the public and private sector and understand the GDP, gross domestic product, and their employment. So these are the objectives which you are going to learn from this chapter. Okay, so you are going to know about the sectors of economy. Next, classify the economic activity into sectors, different sectors like primary, secondary and tertiary sectors, and differentiate what is the how you will differentiate what is the organized sector and what is unorganized sector. Then what is private sector and what is public sector also. Then what is the contribution of this three sector, primary, secondary and tertiary, to India's GDP, gross domestic product. So these are your learning objectives, right? Next, what is economy? Very important. Let us understand what is economy. An economy is a system in which people produce the goods, okay, and people distribute the goods and people exchange the goods, okay, and finally it is consumed by the consumers. So we can say an economy is a system in which people produce, distribute, exchange and consume goods and services to satisfy the human needs and wants. So every human being have some needs and wants, right? Suppose today we are eating rice. So who is producing rice? It is the farmer. Okay, farmer is producing the rice. Then after harvesting and all these things, the farmer, he will keep some certain amount of food with himself for his family consumption, and the remaining portion of the amount is going to sell in the market. From that market, the traders or the businessmen traders will buy it, and after processing into a rice, and it will be packed into rice bags and sending into the cities and towns and cities. From there, the people who are living in cities, like employees and any other people, they will buy from the mart or any shop. So finally, the rice is produced by the farmers and it is distributed by the middlemen, like traders and businessmen. Then finally, it is consumed by the you and me. Okay, so if you look at this economy, suppose in the examination they ask you 2 mark question or 3 mark question, what is economy? Then you have to write this definition. What is that? An economy is a system in which people produce the goods, distribute the goods, exchange the goods, consume the goods and services to satisfy human needs and want. This is the definition of economy. Please write down. Next, what are the examples now? What are the examples? Right? Sorry. Yeah. Suppose a farmer grows crops. Okay. Who is growing crop? Growing crops, farmers. No, he is a producer. A factory converts the crops into food products. Manufacturing. So, what is manufacturing? Converting a raw material into finished goods is called manufacturing. So, who is producing? Here, farmer is the producer. Who is the producer, Nana? Farmer is the producer. Farmer is the producer. And who is converting this rice into, let us say, usable product? It is the manufacturer, means miller, manufacturer. So, manufacturing activity. Second, a shopkeeper sells. Who is selling the rice to you? It is the shopkeeper. So, who is produced? Farmer produced. Who processed raw material into a finished goods? It is the manufacturing industry, means secondary sector. Then shopkeeper selling you in the market and for to the consumer. You are the consumer. A consumer buys and uses the product. This is how economy works. Not only the rice and not only the wheat, even cotton also. Even cotton. Who is producing cotton? Is the farmers. And after the farmer, he will sell the product into the market and it will go to ginning. Okay, ginning means separation of cotton and seeds separately. Then there is a process called threading, everything. Weaving, threading, everything will take place. Right. So, what I am saying is that finally, a farmer grows the crop. He is the producer. A miller is converting raw material into finished products. That is called manufacturing. A shopkeeper sells them in the market. This is called services. So broadly speaking, the Indian economy or any economy has divided into three sectors. Primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Right. Primary sector can be also called as agriculture sector. What is that, Nana? Agriculture sector and allied sector. And secondary sector also called as manufacturing sector or industrial sector. Whereas tertiary sector also called as service sector. So you need to remember. So who is producers? Okay, then manufacturer, then consumer through the market. Okay. What are the key components of economy? What are the key components of economy? So one is production. Always remember who is producing the goods. Production. And who is distributing? They are coming under manufacturing or something. Then consumption. So production, distribution, consumption is the one of the main component of economy, where people produce, where people producing goods, distributing the goods. So finally it is consumed by the human being. So yeah, these are the few important components of the economy. Next, we are moving to economic activity. What is that, Nana? Economic activity. What do you mean by economic activity? Any activities undertaken by human being to earn the income or to get the livelihood. Okay. What do you mean by, Nana? What is economic activity? Economic activities are the activities undertaken. Undertaken means done by human being to let us say to earn the income or to get the livelihood. So finally we can say economic activities performed by human. Who is performing? By humans to earn the income. So if you look at this, so example, farming. Most of the farmers will do the farming. So through which the farmer is getting the income. Farmer is getting the earning the income. Okay. Next, manufacturing. By manufacturing fan, by manufacturing tube light, by manufacturing TV, the manufacturer will get the income. That comes under the manufacturing sector. Then we have banking, where we have public and private banks, State Bank of India, other HDFC and ICICI banks. What the banks will do? What is the function of banking? So they will deposit the money by the customers. Okay, they will render the loans to the whoever they want loans, like industrialists want loans, like construction builders want loans, and personal loans, housing loans. So banks are taking money from the people, and the people will deposit money, right? And the banks will render the money to the as a needy people, like personal loan, housing loan, car loan, and any house loan, etc., etc. Right? So banking, then teaching comes under the service activity. Then IT services. So all these are economic activities. So farming, manufacturing, banking, teaching, IT services, even schools, colleges, then hospitals, all are coming under these economic activities only. Finally, what I am saying is that what is economic activity? Any economic activity is undertaken by human being to earn the income or to get the livelihood, food. How we are getting food? So most of your parents engaging are primary activity or secondary or tertiary activities through which they are getting income or getting livelihood. So this is the definition of economic activities. So very, very important to know. What is sector? Already we discussed what is Indian, what is economy, then what is economic activities. So everywhere we are in the further video, in the coming slides we are going to discuss many things. So you need to note it down. So and you should be in a position to tell in your own words. So now tell me, what is economic activities? Any economic activities performed by human being to get the income or to earn the income. We can say like this also. Or any economic activities undertaken by human being to earn the income or to get the livelihood is also called economic activities. So based on the economic activities, we have divided sectors into three: primary, secondary and tertiary. We clubbed together. And for that, we have sector. What is sector? A similar economic activities grouped together. What is sector? So I told you, we have three sectors: primary, secondary, tertiary. Why we are clubbing some activities into primary sector? Because they have similar activities. For example, if you take, the dairy farm, related to agriculture only. Dairy farm. Though we have cows, and the cows will eat the grass. Again, grass coming from the who is growing the crops. It is a farmer coming using natural resources like land, water, other things, right? So yeah, these are the few economic activities undertaken by the human being. Next, if we move on to so these are the different economic activities. Activities performed to earn income by producing or providing goods and services. So we have farming activities, we have teaching, comes under the service sector. Then we have manufacturing activities. Then we have banking activities. Then we have transport. Then trade. So construction. Then healthcare. Then IT services. Then tourism. So these are the different economic activities undertaken by the human being to earn the income, or to get the livelihood, food. So they are getting money. From that money, they are purchasing their food products and satisfying their needs and wants. So this is called economic activities. So what is economic activities? Any activities undertaken by human being to earn the income or to get the livelihood is called economic activities. And what is sector? A group of economic activities clubbed together. A group of economic activities clubbed together of similar characteristic. So we are having three sectors. We are having how many sectors, Nana? We are having three sectors. I just told you. So primary sector. What is that? Primary sector uses natural resources. So imagine this is the earth. This is the earth. So what are the natural resources we have? Soil is a natural resource. Water is a natural resource. Sunshine is a natural resource. Air is a natural resource. Forest is a natural resource. Even minerals are the natural resource. Okay, all these are natural resources. So primary sector uses natural resources. And what is, if you want definition, the sector that involves extraction and use of natural resources. What is the primary sector? The sector that involves extraction. They are extracting natural resources from the earth, So they are extracting natural resources from the earth. Now soil, one of the natural resource. Water, we are extracting water from the earth only. Then what? Now what else, Nana? Then soil, water, sunshine. So everything, and the minerals, we are getting minerals from the earth only. Okay, all these are comes under the primary sector. So what is the primary sector? The sector that involves extraction and use of natural resources directly from the nature. We are getting from the nature. Okay, Nana, nature, naturally available. So which is providing? Nature is the providing us. We are not manufacturing it. We are just getting from the nature. So next, so then we have secondary sector. So secondary sector I also call, as I told you, manufacturing sector or industrial sector. What sector, Nana? Manufacturing sector or industrial sector. Right. So write down the sector that converts raw material into a finished goods. So the secondary sector will converts raw material into finished goods. Okay. So what is secondary sector? The sector that converts raw materials into finished goods is called secondary sector. For example, cotton. So cotton is converted into cloth. So who is converting? Manufacturing sector. Okay, this is called secondary sector. Then we have tertiary sector, also called as service sector. Right now, the sector that provides services to people and businesses. What is that, Nana? This sector, service sector is providing services to whom? To the people and businesses. Okay, and example, banking. Already you have seen banking, transport, and education, healthcare. So plumbing activities. There are many activities. Mobile services, all are coming under the even transport, buses, railways, airways, waterways, everything coming under the service activity. So if you look at this, so primary sector, which includes agriculture, fishing, forestry, and which produces raw material. So if you look at this primary sector, so we are getting agriculture products. So we have wheat here, we have rice. So rice, wheat, maize, pulses, fruit, vegetables, sugarcane. All are raw material coming from the primary sector. Then forest product, timber, bamboo, firewood, resin, gum, lac, herbs. They are also raw material. Mineral resources. We are extracting coal, petroleum, and iron ore, bauxite, manganese, copper, everything coming from the nature. Minerals, extracting from the nature. Then we have fisheries, animal husbandry, then water, soil, natural gas and petroleum, cotton, jute, all are example of the primary sector. So with this, today I am concluding my video. So what we discussed so far, first we defined economy. What is economy? A system where people engage in production, distribution, consumption to satisfy human needs and wants. That is the economy. And what are the example of economy? I told you, shopkeeper produces the farmer produces the rice. Then manufacturer will convert the raw material into finished goods. Then third one, what is that? Shopkeeper sells the rice in the shops. So it is the consumer who is buying it. And what are the key components of economy? Production, distribution, and consumption. These are the key components of economy. After that, what we have discussed, then economic activities. So any kind of economic activities undertaken by human being to satisfy human need is called economic activities. So we have different economic activities. Already we have seen that. Then what we discussed, the primary sector, okay, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Primary sector, which includes extracting natural resources from the nature. So what are the natural resources we are? So fishing, forestry, mining, all are natural resources only, all are raw material only. So next video we are going to discuss some other topic related to this chapter. Thank you all for giving this opportunity.